Boys and girls, how are we doing? Because you seem to enjoy the last video, I'm going to do a little bit more of that. So what we're going to be doing is some more air fryer meals that are 1, easy to do, 2, taste good, and 3, decent macros. Whether you're bulking or cutting, that doesn't really matter too much. All you've got to do is just adjust the ingredients quantity as needed. But yeah, let's get straight into it and get into meal number 1. What we're going to need in terms of ingredients is some tomato puree, some lighter than light mayo. Doesn't have to be marketed as that, just some mayo, that'll do. 2 slices of bread, so I've got some 50-50 bread here. We're going to use 40 grams of half fat cheese. You will need a cheese grater as well, and also we're going to use about 50 grams of ham. What we're doing for this meal, by the way, is keeping it really simple because I've got to get some of you on side, because when people state that they're making some easy recipes and then within like 20 seconds of the video you realise there's like 20 ingredients, it takes 45 minutes to do, and you know what, who's got that much time to be spending in the kitchen making food? I mean, I certainly haven't. If you have, then I'm a little bit jealous. But anyway, yeah, simple one to start with. First step, what we're going to do, squeeze some tomato puree on the bread. As you can see, I'm feeling like a bit of a tank today because I ain't weighing it out. On the other slice, we're going to apply some light mayo. Once we have spreaded the mayo and tomato puree onto the bread, then what we need to do is add some cheese and ham. So we'll apply some cheese on here, not all of it, just a bit. Now we're just adding the ham on as well. Then we'll place that other bit of bread on top, give that a bit of a push down. Next step, we're going to position this in the air fryer. This is when I really need Em to help me film my videos because I'm having to hold my camera and do this. But yeah, the last step is just adding a little bit more cheese on top of the toasty. Bosh, there we go. We're gonna whack that in, turn the air fryer on. We're gonna put it on 180 degrees for 6 minutes, and bosh. 6 minutes later, and it's time to serve up. Pretty confident this is going to taste good. I'll quickly run through the macros. So total calories is 394, made up of 38 grams of carbs, 12 grams of fats, and 28 grams of protein. Pretty low calorie meal, I'd say. A decent protein here. What I'd probably do if I was to have this in my diet is just have this as a snack rather than a breakfast or lunch. But like I said earlier, whether you're bulking, cutting, whatever, you're just going to use your own kind of initiative of when it would be best to eat it and how much of each ingredient you should use. But anyway, I'm starving, I'm gonna eat. I think this is just one of them where if you've got a decent amount of cheese on something, you know it's gonna taste good anyway, don't you? Right then, meal number 2, it's going to taste good, it's high in protein, it's relatively satiating, and you should probably give it a go. Let's run through the ingredients. 2 wraps, some tomato puree, 50 grams of half fat cheese, 3 slices of bacon, and we're even going to treat ourselves to some seasoning, so we're going to go with some oregano. First step, right, we're just going to put a wrap in the air fryer, which is an important step, but the next step is pretty crucial. Yeah, so you can't mess this step up. So if you look below, not too low, you dirty dog, that's the subscribe button below. If you can whack that right now, that would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, the next step. So what we've got to do is chuck in a little bit of this grated cheese on the first wrap, like this. Then get the next wrap, place that on top. There we go. Then we're gonna grab some tomato puree, blob a bit of that on. And when I say a bit, I mean a fair bit. Now what we're doing is just spreading that across, even that out a little bit. Then we'll add the rest of the cheese. If it was up to me, I'd probably add about 100 grams of cheese, but you know. Then it's gonna look something like this. And now what I'm gonna do is just add some bacon. Here we go, sports fans. So we'll get a bit of bacon out, and I should probably cut this up so I've not got like massive strips of bacon on my pizza. This is gonna be good, this is, I can tell. It's gonna be very good. Also, what I've realized is that I won't need 3 bits of bacon, so I'm gonna go with 2. Now this is how we're looking. Final step is just to put a little bit of this oregano on. Whoops, that's a bit too much. All we've gotta do now, whack this back in the air fryer, turn it on. I'm gonna put it on 180 degrees. I am actually guessing here, but I'm gonna go for 7 minutes. It's almost there. What I'm gonna do, put it on for another 3 minutes at 200 degrees, and that should do it. 3 minutes later, which was probably a little bit too long. As you can see, it's slightly crispy, but you know what? it ain't bad at all. And you know, you live and you learn. Well, supposedly anyway. You know what? I need a pizza cutter, don't I? Some freaks use scissors to cut a pizza. I mean, I guess it works, doesn't it? But it's look a little bit weird cutting pizza with some scissors, don't you? Let's whack some ketchup on the plate as well. Also, I'll put the macros for this meal just here somewhere. And let's give this a taste. The oregano and the bacon. It's a nice touch. I'm not joking, I'd rather have this than like your local pizza shop. Not just because this tastes really good. You could argue that the other ones might taste a little bit better, I don't know. But the main issue with the pizza shop pizzas, normally it doesn't digest that well, whereas this, we're not gonna have any issues. And that's something I think about all the time. I don't just think about how that meal's gonna make me feel at the time, but I think about how that meal's gonna make me feel after. So if I'm gonna feel really sluggish and tired, normally now I'd kind of steer away from that. Meal 3 then, straight into it, we ain't messing around. What we're gonna do, start off by cooking up 200 grams of chicken breast. Choice of seasoning, we're gonna keep it simple and we're gonna use some Cajun seasoning. First step then, we're just gonna whack the chicken in here, cut that up into little bits. Apply the seasoning. So my air fryer, I just put the chicken setting, 200 degrees, and we'll put that on for 15 minutes. Along with the chicken, what we're gonna do is cook up some chips. So we're gonna use some basic, like standard oven chips, add some sliced peppers in there, along with some onions, and we're gonna season them chips with some chili and garlic seasoning. Again, this meal is gonna be pretty simple, but it's gonna be bang on the money, just trust me. Now the chicken's cooked, so we're just gonna chuck a few of these chips in the air fryer. What we'll do now, put that on 200 degrees and we'll do that for 12 minutes. Next up, what we're gonna do, place some onions in with the chips, like that, that'll do. Then we're gonna add these peppers, there we go. And lastly, we're gonna apply some seasoning. Give that a bit of a shake. Then we'll put all that back in for about 4 minutes.
A few moments later.
And here is the end product. Simple, easy, it's gonna taste good. I mean, ticks all the boxes, high protein, come on. I mean, who doesn't like some chips and peppers and chicken? Because if you like all that stuff, then you're gonna like this meal, ain't you? That's hot, mate. Wow, that is hot. If you've enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the video I'll link at the end of this video as well. That's another air fryer recipes to help you get jacked or shredded, whatever you wanna do. It's gonna help, high protein, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, like this video if you enjoyed this one, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.